Amogh Lila Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He is the Vice President of ISKCON Dwarka. He has completed computer science and BTech from Delhi University. He is a co-faculty at IIMS Ahmedabad for teaching principles in ethics and morality in leadership. He is the director of ISKCON Youth Forum Dwarka for the uplifting character amongst youth. And he is delivering weekly sessions at NSIT and DTU. And he is a co-director and corporate trainer for VSER, Vedic Solutions to Empower Resources by Value Education, a spiritual corporate training wing. And he delivered sessions on stress management, anger management, conflict management in companies like New York Life, Umami, Nestle, Maruti, Holland Tractors, Ernst & Young, and others. And he's a content writer for spiritual syllabus for practical implementation of spirituality in modern times for Hare Krishna devotees in Delhi, NCR. And he's co-director and script writer for Vaikuntha Players, a spiritual drama group, lifestyle coach for families, corporate, youth, and children. And he's preaching worldwide by his very enlivening discourses and YouTube videos. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Please, you can start.
All right, great. Thank you very much. I am very fortunate to be amongst all of you. Thank you very much, Krishnanam Prabhuji, for inviting me to say a few words in glories of Lord Ram. As Ram Navami is coming, so certainly it is the appropriate time to seek blessings of Lord Ram. So thank you very much for inviting me so that I can speak something in the glories of Lord Ram for my own much needed purification and for the transcendental pleasure of the devotees. Hare Krishna. So I'll just offer some prayers and then we'll begin. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunrutam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Vedamaya Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanascha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathavitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paridana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Shri Vishakanitascha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Janapati Gopesh Kopika Radha Kanti Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sundari Kanamami Haripriye Vancha Tatrivacha Kripasindhi Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Nama Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Shri Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Charine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Krishnavani Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Nankayate Grim Chakrapata Muhammad Shri Guru Kinakayana Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chakrapata. Hare Krishna. So usually when Ram Navami is coming, so at that time we glorify Lord Ram. So today I will speak about the glories of Lord Ram. So so there are many wonderful glories of Lord Ram. So I'll try to describe something about this topic. Okay. So about the glories of Lord Ram, it is mentioned in the scriptures. There are 4 scriptures which are bona fide scriptures about Lord Ram's pastimes. First one is Valmiki Ramayana. Okay. Second one is Ramcharitmanas by Tulsidas ji. And then there is Kamba Ramayana by Kamba Rishi. And then by Ved Vyas ji, there is Adhyatma Ramayana. So these are 4 most authentic versions of Ram Katha, Sri Ramalila. So these they are very popular, especially in South India. We see there are so many plays and dramas being done. In fact, for quite a long amount of time, even in North India, we used to have Ram Lila. So Ram Lila is more relatable. We see that Krishna's actions are very inconceivable. Krishna's words are to be followed. Krishna's actions cannot be imitated because Krishna is just way too inconceivable in his activities. Having 10,000 billion gopis, how can somebody have that many gopis? 10,000 billion. Well, just see
Prabhu,
Krishna's words, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that is we follow.
Your voice is breaking up.
My voice is breaking. What to do? There are things that are beyond our control. So I don't know what to do. Can you hear me now clearly? Yeah. All right. So in between, in case you see that some part of the delivery, the lecture got missed out because of network, please let me know. You can please feel free to interrupt me so that I can repeat it. All right. So that is Lord Ram's glories. They are infinite, and whether Valmiki Ramayana, in the beginning section, there is a beautiful description of Lord's form, how Lord Ram looks like. And Ramcharitmanas also in the beginning, it is the chapter which describes about that how one should actually see the glories of Lord Ram. So what are the glories of Lord Ram is what we will try to discuss today. So if Kali Yuga is compared with the dry wood, and all the bad qualities which are present in the Kali Yuga, they can be compared with dry wood. Then Lord Ram's virtues, the glories of Lord Ram, the virtues of Lord Ram, they are like fire. So just like fire naturally destroys the dry wood, similarly Lord Ram's glories can naturally destroy all the negative virtues of Kali Yuga. Also Lord Ram's glories, they are like the moonlight. Just like when there is a moonlight, so the lily, it blossoms just having come in touch with the moonlight. So similarly, the glories of Lord Ram, they're like the moonlight, and the minds of the devotees, they're like lily, they're like lotus. It blossoms as soon as the glories of the Lord it touches, so it blossoms. So the minds of the devotees, it blossoms. Also, the glories of Lord Ram, okay, they are the true teachers. The glories of Lord Ram, they're the two teachers, and they teach three very important lessons for us, to us. First lesson is divine wisdom. Second lesson is about dispassion, being detached from the material world. And the third one is bhakti yoga. So bhakti, dispassion, which is vairagya, and divine wisdom. Of course, bhakti is a mother, and divine wisdom and vairagya, detachment, are the sons. So Mama and the two lovely sons, they are blessed upon us as the teachers from these virtues of Lord Ram. Wow. Repeated birth and death comes to extinguish, comes to a halt after coming in touch with Lord Ram's glories. The holiest of all the vows is to take a vow that going forward, I would regularly hear the virtues of Lord Ram. If somebody takes this kind of vow, that is really wonderful. People take various kind of vows, and they are very austere. But one vow, which is the holiest of all and most purifying in nature, is to hear the virtues of Lord Ram. Okay, so the most crushed jewel among all the vows, which is actually the vow among all the vows, is to hear the glories of Lord Ram. The glories of Lord Ram, it is an antidote agony for grief, which is a common symptom for the people in Kali Yuga. Since agony and grief, but there is an antidote, that is the virtues of Lord Ram. Yes. Also, the virtues of Lord Ram, they are the it's very life-giving. It is like an elixir for the life. In case somebody is very tired, as soon as there is some nectarian drink, then the person feels rejuvenated. So in case we are so much tired, we are so much fed up in the material world, well, here is something, here is an elixir to revive us, to rejuvenate us. And that is the glories of Lord Ram, the virtues of Lord Ram, which are there in the cave. And the lion enters the cave and hunts for those small animals. Similarly, there are various animals in the heart, the animals of lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion. But the lion, it's actually the virtues of Lord Ram, enters this cave of our heart and devours all of these negative virtues like lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion. It's destroyed actually. Just like a snake, the snake is captured by the snake charmer by playing the musical instrument. Okay, so that musical instrument is actually the glories of Lord Ram, and the snakes are the desires for sensuality, sensuous desires. So they can be taken out by the charming glories of Lord Ram. Like when the snake charmer plays this particular instrument to charm the snakes. So they are naturally attracted towards the snake charmer. So that is all these sensuous desires, they leave our heart as soon as the heart comes in touch with the glories of Lord Ram. Wow. Just like when a poet looks at the stars, looks at all the luminaries in the sky, and then his mind is ignited. And because having the mind ignited, the poet now has got various poetic descriptions, poetic compositions. It inspires the poet to do so. Similarly, all those who are pure devotees of the Lord, they are also like poets. As soon as they come in touch with the glories of Lord Ram, the virtues of Lord Ram, then what happens? Then their minds are ignited and they write such poetic masterpieces like Ramayana, or say Ramcharitmanas, or Kambarman, or Adhatma Ramayana. They are masterpieces, they are poetic masterpieces. In fact, Valmiki ji, somehow when he saw somebody hunting, and then he became so angry on that hunter that he cursed that hunter. But that curse was in such a poetic meter. Later on, when he contemplated on the composition, the structure of that curse, he felt that wow, what a poetic composition. I spoke those words as a matter of curse, but it turned out to be a verse. Wow! From curse came a verse, and very beautiful poetic description with poetic ornaments. Wow! And then Lord Brahma told him, it did not happen by chance. There is no such thing as by chance. In this world, although people say, by chance what happened? I met that guy. By chance what happened? This thing happened. By chance I saw him. By chance. It's an atheistic word. By chance. Coincidentally. Well, these are atheistic words. Nothing is by coincidence. Nothing is by chance. So Brahmaji said, well, Valmiki, actually, this verse has not come out from your mouth by chance. It's a will of the Lord that now you should describe about the glories of Lord Ram with the same poetic meter as was there in this curse. I said, oh, I see. So the minds of the devotees, they are ignited to write beautiful compositions, poetic compositions in the glories of the Lord. When the glories of the Lord, it touches their heart. Wow. It is life's most precious treasure. That is the glories of Lord Ram. It is most purifying as the Ganges. Anyone who comes in touch with Ganges gets purified. Similarly, anyone who speaks Ram Katha gets purified. The one who asks questions from Ram Katha gets purified. The one who listens to Ram Katha gets purified. And of course, they get purified in descending order. The one who's speaking about the Lord, he gets purified the most. And the one who asks questions is the second one who gets purified. And third one is the one who is just there as a listener. But anyone who comes in touch with Ganges of Ram Katha gets purified. And anyone who's having the sattvic intellect, it is the vitality of the sattvic intellect, this virtues of Lord Ram, the glories of Lord Ram. It makes that sattvic intellect transcendental. So that's the power of the glories of Lord Ram. Wow. So it is clear, agreeable, cool, refreshing pond, actually. So if Lord Ram's glories, it can be compared to a pond. Okay. It's a sarovar, Man Sarovar. And this sarovar is nothing but it is filled with the waters of the glories of Lord Ram. Okay. So there are 7 stepping stones in this pond. Okay. These 7 stepping stones are nothing but Balakand, Ayodhya-kand, Aranya-kand, Kishkinda-kand, Sundar-kand, Lanka-kand, Uttar-kand. So these are the stepping stones. Sometimes, because these stepping stones, they give us various different perspectives of the pond. Some from this side, from that side, from this side, from that side. Similarly, all these chapters in the Holy Ramayana or Ramcharitmanas, they give us various angles and perspectives of the glories of Lord Ram. So these are the 7 steps in this pond of the glories of Lord Ram. And which brings delight. When we go to the pond, which makes the pond really very charming, very delightful, is the sound of the birds, right? So that is the glories of Lord Ram. So it is so delightful that we feel it is as if chirping of the birds in this pond. Yeah. Okay, so what's the thrill of joy? That's a flower garden of this pond. Actually, the thrill, the joy. Okay. And who's a gardener? Like there is a pond, so outside there is a gardener. So those who are noble-minded souls, they are the gardeners. So noble-minded souls, they increase the beauty of this sarovar, of the glories of Lord Ram. Okay, who are the protectors? In case there is a sarovar, in case there is a pond of the glories of Lord Ram, there has to be someone who protects the pond. The reciters of the glories of Lord Ram, they are the protectors. They protect it by glorifying the Lord again and again and yet again in the form of 3-day seminars or 7-day saptah or entire month being dedicated to Lord Ram. So in this way, the reciters, they glorify Lord Ram from the core of their hearts. And as they do that, in this way, generation after generation, people learn about Lord Ram. And generation after generation, the virtues are learned. The virtues are absorbed in consciousness. There is upliftment of the character generation after generation. In this way, the knowledge is retained year, after thousands of years even, that knowledge remains intact. Why? Because the reciters, they spoke about the glories of the Lord with all enthusiasm, with such joy, with such faith, with such devotion. So they are the protectors of the sarovar, the pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Oh. And who are the new members? Those who are the listeners of the glories of Lord Ram, they are the new members. And they come to know about, oh, this happened. Oh, we did not know that. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, great. Oh, so sweet. Oh, transcendental. Oh, that's so inspiring. Aha. Great. Wow. Can you please repeat this? Okay. I have a question. So they are the one who are joining. They are the new members in the family, okay, who come and relish this pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Okay, in case somebody has come to the pond, but sometimes even though the pond is quite beautiful, yet the person can get distracted. Say, for example, outside there are crows. So because of the sounds of the crows, the person can get distracted. Where is this noise coming? And so that which distracts us from relishing the beauty of this pond of the glories of Lord Ram are the lusty desires. The lusty desires are like the herons and the crows, which with their bitter voice, they distract us. Lust distracts us. And when we get distracted, we are not able to relish this nectarian pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Okay, rough way. In case you are coming towards the pond, it is quite possible that the path which was leading to this pond was so rough that while coming, it was really a Herculean task, a very difficult task, a pain-giving task, a stressful task to come to this place. So what is that? It is service done to the people of this materialistic world. They make the path rough to reach to the glories of Lord Ram. Okay. Also, in case somebody is coming towards this pond, quite possible that one get hunted by a tiger, by a lion, by a leopard. He gets hunted. Got hunted. And that's why one could not reach the pond of the glories of Lord Ram. So the tigers, the lions, the leopards who are there to hunt us, they are nothing but that is bad company, the bad association. As soon as somebody is coming to hear the glories of Lord Ram, somebody must say, well, where are you going? Well, Amrita Anand Prabhu, where are you going? And Amrita Prabhu says, well, I'm going to hear the glories of Lord Ram. So what? Come on, man. Let's party. Let's enjoy life. Why are you going there? So bad company. There are people who may stop us to go to hear the glories of Lord Ram. Let's say, for example, a young guy who's coming to hear the glories of Lord Ram. You are such a young guy, man. Come on, you should have a girlfriend's hand in your hand. Not that, you are going to hear the glories. Come on. That's an after retirement business, man. After you are done with the responsibilities, after you have paid all the loans, the car loan, the home loan, and education loan and all that, you got your children married, then come and listen to Lord Ram Katha. Why now? That's not the time. Bad company. Bad company. So bad company is like the tigers, the wolves. the leopards who may hunt our faith, who may hunt us, and then being affected by them, the bad association, the bad company, then we may not come to the pond of the glories of Lord Ram because of bad association. They discourage us, they make fun of us. Hey, Pandit ji ho gaye yaar, what's wrong with you? Have you become Pandit ji? What's wrong with you, man? These ISKCON wala people, they have got nothing to do. So they just keep speaking, they want somebody to listen. And you are that innocent guy who got caught up. These ISKCON people, they will make you live a life and that you would not be able to eat the Mexican food. You would not be able to eat the Latin food, the typical American food. You would not be able to enjoy because these ISKCON people will make you leave everything, man. Just give it up, man. Enjoy life. Come on. Come on. Okay. All right. Being affected by the bad association, we get hunted and we may not reach the pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Oh. While coming to the pond of the glories of Lord Ram, it is quite possible that there is a very strong stream. The river is going and the flow is so strong, the stream, the current is so strong that as soon as you come in touch with that current, you are swayed away by the current. And then instead of going straight, you are gone in different direction altogether. Oh. So what is the stream? This very strong stream. The stream is kutarka, bad logic. There are people who give bad logic, and bad logic, they distract us from reaching to the pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Somebody says, well, yeah, you are going to hear about Ram. That Ram, who hiding behind the bushes, killed Vali. If he was really daring enough, he should have come in front and fought with Vali. But he was not daring enough. The same person who made Mother Sita, that lady, that woman, innocent lady, after 10 months of staying in Ravan's kingdom, with all loyalty and all fidelity, now she has to go through the test of the fire, Agni Pariksha. What kind of husband is Ram? And later on, then she just left everything. And finally, she was asked to go to Valmiki's ashram. When she was pregnant, the same Ram who killed Shambhuk, that Shudra who was reading the scriptures, he killed him. You know, this caste system was encouraged by Ram, and you are worshipping that Ram. All of this is bad logic. All of these things, of course, they have got reasons. Proper reasons are there. But in case somebody doesn't know the reasons, one can be driven by the bad logic and gone. That's it. Like there are people who say, like once somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, he said, Swamiji, can God make a stone which he cannot lift? That's a very tricky question. If I say yes, I'm caught. If I say no, again, I'm caught. If I say yes, God can make a stone which he cannot lift. Oh, then what kind of God is he when he cannot lift a stone? In case if I say no, God cannot make such a stone which he cannot lift. Well, what kind of God is he? He cannot make even a stone. Whether we say yes or no, we are caught. But Srila Prabhupada is smarter than these people who ask such kutarkas and bad logics. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, Krishna can make a stone which he cannot lift. But then his direct expansion, Balram can lift. And when Balram lifts it and then hands it over to Krishna, and then Krishna can also lift. So Krishna could make a stone which he cannot lift, but he could lift it as well. Done. So kutarka, the bad logics, they can act like a villain. They can act like such a distraction that instead of developing glories for Lord Ram, appreciations for Lord Ram, I developed kutarka, bad logic. So that's also an obstacle. Okay. And also while coming to the pond, the glories of Lord Ram, while coming in between, there can be a mountain. Now if I start climbing the mountain, and then coming down the mountain, uphill and then downhill. So it can in between you may feel tired. Okay, let me take rest. Okay, then start moving again, you take rest. Yeah. And finally you reach the pond of the glories of Lord Ram. So what is this mountain? This mountain is the domestic responsibilities in household life, in grihastha life. There are responsibilities. In case you are coming to hear the glories of Lord Ram, your child will say, "Well, Dad, I got parent-teacher meeting. Please come, Dad." Okay. All right, I'll come. I'll come. Maybe I'll listen about God's Lord Ram's glory some other time. And maybe somebody's wife says, "Well, you have not gifted me anything. Today is our marriage anniversary." Okay, today's marriage anniversary. All right. Okay, I was about to go to hear the discourse on Lord Ram's glories. What? Today? Today is our marriage anniversary. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe I'll listen tomorrow, some other time. Okay, let's go. Okay, all right. Okay, well, I have to cook for my husband. Yeah, my husband, he's not a devotee. He's a crazy guy. And in case he comes to know that I am coming to hear Lord Ram's glories, he'll really screw me. That crazy guy. What to do? Well, Prabhuji, I can come online, in case my husband will come to know that I'm hearing Lord Ram's glories. He's a crazy guy. He has no substance over here. So please, I will not be able to come. So there are so many things in household life. They're like mountain. We have to cross this mountain and then reach the pond of the glories of Lord Ram. But yes, the mountain can be made simpler by living a very simple life in household life. In case we make the life very simple, so mountain, instead of having very high peak, it can be simple, and then again, of course, we can reach Lord Ram's glories very easily. But in case we live a very complicated life, so we are to go uphill, and then come downhill, because household life is so complicated. Currently, the kind of life I'm living, and that can be very challenging. So household life, the responsibilities which we have in household life can act like a mountain, and one has to cross the mountain to reach the pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Okay, now while coming to the glories of Lord Ram, it is quite possible that I may feel cold. And because I feel cold, that's why I may sit down somewhere and my speed would slow down. Right. Similarly, cold represents Ardha Chetana. That means being half conscious while hearing the glories of Lord Ram. Being half conscious. Like sometimes we have seen people, they are sitting, their eyes are open, but they are so dull-headed that they cannot understand anything. And they are waiting for one thing. At the end of program, there is prasad. And that's the real stuff. What this guy is speaking, I cannot understand. What is this Atma, Paramatma, this and that? Ardha Chetana. That is, people are dull-headed. This dull-headedness, which is quite common in Kali Yuga, quite common. I went to one company to deliver a discourse, and I was told, Amogh, Lila, these people are very intellectual, so be very conscious. These all are they're intellectual guys. Okay, all right. Jai Shri Prabhupada. I moved ahead. So me and my friend, we were together. We were giving the presentation. So some part I was delivering, another part my friend was delivering. So whenever he would make a punch, or throw a punch, I would laugh. And seeing me laughing, they would laugh. And whenever I am speaking and I throw a punch, my friend would laugh, but they would not laugh. But seeing him laughing, they would laugh. And then you're thinking there's something wrong with us. We are speaking, but they are not responding appropriately. But at least we could see each other that we are having good time with each other, listening to each other. So in the feedback form at the end of the session, they said, well, the trainers are very cool. We were thinking that actually we were not cool. You people were so dull. People in Kali Yuga, especially about philosophy, they are so dull. So even comes and reaches the pond, but out of the substance of the glories of Lord. And how to practice, how to come. Those who regularly practice coming to the pond, for them coming to the pond is easier. In fact, next time when they come faster, they come rushing, running, because they regularly come to this pond of the glories of Lord Ram. So what is that? This regular practice. This regular practice is satsang. coming to the association of devotees. The devotees association inspires us so that we come rushing again and again and again and yet again to hear the glories of Lord Ram. Satsang. We have seen people doing austerities when they are there with devotees. When they are alone, they are not able to do any austerity. But when they are with devotees, they do austerities. Like sometimes when we have camps, we take the camp of the youths to Vrindavan. Those boys who have never slept before 2 a.m. When they see in the camp everyone is sleeping by 10 p.m., they also sleep by 10 p.m. and they get up at 3 a.m. along with everyone. Because satsang makes austerities easier. When we are alone, it is difficult to do austerities. But when we are doing austerities with others, it is easier. Like to read books, it's an austerity for many people. They are not able to read books. But we have seen that when people also devotees, they have formed clubs and they come together and they start reading. They read for hours. Satsang. So satsang makes the austerities easier. Similarly, when somebody is coming to the pond of the glories of Lord Ram, it becomes easier because I keep coming regularly in the satsang. So satsang makes it easier actually. Otherwise, austerities are very difficult to do in Kali Yuga. Okay, what's next? In case if I'm coming, I feel very lazy. I may go tomorrow. Laziness. So laziness is jwar. So in case somebody is feeling fever, one would not be able to come to the pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Similarly, if somebody is lazy, out of laziness, one may not be able to come to hear the glories of Lord Ram. Like we are seeing sometimes people, devotees, they make plans. 4:30 Mangal Aarti. Maybe we can go for Darshan Aarti. Yeah, today we'll go for Darshan Aarti, 7:30 a.m. In case you are still more lazy, well, we'll go for afternoon Aarti. Maybe in the evening we'll go for Sandhya Aarti. Okay, today we'll not go for the Aarti, tomorrow we'll go for Mangal Aarti. Lazy. Once there was a person who was finding out who is the laziest creature in this world. So the village wala, they took him to a person who was there hanging on the branch of the tree. They said this person is the laziest person. So how can he climbed the tree, and as he climbed the tree, he's there on that branch. So certainly this person cannot be lazy. He said, no, it is not that he has climbed the tree. Actually, he saw the seed and then put some water and then he laid on the ground. And then there was sprouting, and then gradually there was plant and then herbs and shrubs and tree. This person remained as it is. So he's lying in this posture from years. So he's the laziest guy. So laziness can be there as a villain, yeah, as a jwar. Also, it's quite possible when I was coming to the pond of the glories of Lord Ram. So what happened? I could see that I don't have the provisions. Well, I don't have the money. I don't have my luggage. I don't have the ticket. I don't have the provisions so that I can which would make my journey easier. What are the provisions? The provisions are the adhyatmic punya, the spiritual pious merits. If I do not have spiritual pious merits, I cannot. It's very difficult to come to hear the glories of Lord Ram. So lack of provision. Oh, that is also there. Okay, so in this way we see these are the glories of Lord Ram. So this pond is so beautiful, it's so wonderful. So this pond is having small wavelets, small wavelets, and these small wavelets, they make the pond look very beautiful. So these wavelets are the similes and the metaphors in the glories of Lord Ram. Lord Ram, whose face is effulgent like the sun, his eyes are as beautiful like the lotus. His lips are as beautiful as a rose. His arms are as strong as thunderbolt. He has a broad chest, which is a palace of love for the devotees. He has got a thin waist, like a lion. So all these similes and metaphors, they make the glories of Lord Ram even more beautiful. So they are the wavelets. The cool water is the narrative okay, which touches the heart. Okay, and the fragrance of this pond are the elegant expressions where how one person deals with the other person and how the other person responds. All these beautiful, elegant expressions is the fragrance of this pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Wow. So we see that there are glories of Lord Ram, there is devotion to Lord Ram, and there are martial glories of Lakshman. So glories of Lord Ram are compared to Sarayu Nadi, okay, which is a transcendental Nadi. That's the transcendental river, Sarayu. The glories of Lord Ram is Sarayu. Devotion to Lord Ram is Akash Ganga. And martial glories of Lakshman is Son river. So Son river, Akash Ganga, and Sarayu, they all come together and they meet with the ocean. And that ocean is Lord Ram's personality. So glories, they are dedicated to Lord Ram. Bhakti to Lord Ram is dedicated to Ram. And the martial glories of Lakshman are for Ram. So that way, Sarayu, Akash Ganga, and Son river, they merge into the ocean. Similarly, the glories of Lord Ram, devotion to Ram, and martial glories of Lakshman, they all enter into the personality of Lord Ram. Wow. Lord Ram's personality is like an ocean. In Ram, there are 4 lotuses. Okay. Because a pond is beautiful, no doubt, but pond especially becomes exquisitely, extraordinarily beautiful when there are lotuses. So there are 4 lotuses. These 4 lotuses are the character of Lord Ram, character of Lakshman, character of Bharat, character of Shatrughan. These 4 are the lotuses of this Sarovar of the glories of Lord Ram. Their character makes the whole narrative so beautiful. The way they interact with each sacrifice, love, service, actions. Wow, that is the 4 lotuses. The character of Lord Ram, character of Lakshman, character of Bharat, character of Shatrughan. When all the 4 of them, when they appeared, all the 4 are Vishnu Tattvas, all the 4 of them are gods. So somehow Ram and Shatrughan were placed in one cradle, and Bharat and Lakshman were placed in one cradle, and all the 4 were crying. All the 4 were crying. So Dashrath, Kaikeyi, Sumitra, and Kaushalya, everyone tried everything, but none of them is getting pacified. What to do? What to do? And then Mother Kaushalya did one simple thing. She just placed Shatrughan in the cradle of Bharat and Lakshman from the cradle of Bharat to Lord Ram. So Ram and Lakshman were together, Bharat and Shatrughan were together. And then immediately all the 4 children, the transcendental children, they started laughing. They were very happy. Because that's their constitutional position. Lakshman is going to serve Lord Ram. And Bharat. Bharat serves Lord Ram in feeling of separation, in service. And Shatrughan serves Bharat, being Das, Dasanudas. His servant of Lord Ram is Bharat, and Bharat's servant is Shatrughan. So Das, Dasanudas. So Shatrughan had immense attraction for Ram, but he resisted this attraction. That let me serve a devotee of Lord Ram. I will serve Bharat. Yes, and that's Shatrughan. So all the 4 brothers, when they were there, they had such loving, wonderful exchanges with each other. So their character is like the 4 lotuses. Yes, the way they talk to each other, the way they sacrifice for each other is really amazing. Transcendental, loving, sweet. Okay. So these 4 lotuses are there, but there are some bumblebees who relish the nectar of one lotus, another lotus, or sometimes this lotus. So what are the bumblebees? Bumblebees are Dashrath, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, Sumitra, and all the Ayodhya-vasis. They are the bumblebees. Sometimes they taste the nectar of the lotus of the character of Lord Ram. Sometimes they taste the nectar of the character of Lakshman. Sometimes they taste the nectar of the character of Bharat. sometimes they taste the nectar of the character of Shatrughna. In this way, they relish the nectar of the character of these four brothers. So they are the bumblebees in Ayodhya. Wow. Okay. And sometimes this water which is there, which is the glories of Lord Ram, it swells also in joy. It swells. The swelling is nothing but the marriages of the four brothers, which was the most pleasant Lila. Okay, so that's also there. What is the charming part of this river? The charming part and the purity of this particular pond of Lord Ram's glories is Mother Sita's character. Sita's character gives clarity, purity, charm to this beautiful pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Yes. And also the coolness, like this pond is there. So this water is very cool. Yeah. So the coolness is the character of Bharat, which is full of sacrifice and feeling of separation. He lived outside Ayodhya and served Ayodhya like a menial servant of Lord Ram. And he lived like a sage. He never wore a single ornament all those 14 years. He lived like a sage. And he even thought that since my Lord, my Ram, is sleeping on floor, so I cannot sleep on the same level. So that's why he made a ditch and he would sleep underneath this ditch, inside this ditch, that I should sleep on the lower level. So he made a ditch and he used to sleep there. Because my Lord is sleeping on the ground, I should sleep below him. So he made this ditch and he used to sleep there. That is character of Bharat. Wow. And the sweetness of this water of the Sarovar of the glories of Lord Ram are the exchanges between these four brothers. That is the sweetness of this beautiful pond of the glories of Lord Ram. Okay, Japa being done on the outskirts of this pond of the glories of Lord Ram is also Bharat. The story of Bharat, the character of Bharat, that's also there. Okay, and there are sometimes strong currents also in this pond. The strong current is Parshuram. Yes, Parshuram, who came with Parshu. He came with his axe. You know that Shivji asking, who has broken the bow of Lord Shiva? Who is the person? Of course, in a school also this happened once. A teacher came to an invigilator came to a school just to see that whether everyone is following the teachings of Ramayana, because it's based on the teachings of Ramayana. Okay. So one invigilator came. He asked, "Okay, you get up. Who broke the bow of Lord Shiva?" He said, "Sir, I did not break, sir. I did not break, sir. Believe me, sir, I did not break." What nonsense. Okay, you next. Who broke the bow of Lord Shiva? He said, he has not broken, sir. What's this? Okay, you tell me. Who broke the bow of Lord Shiva? He said, from past 1 week, I'm on leave. Sir, I did not break, sir, at all. He asked the teacher, just see the bow of Lord Shiva. He said, "Sir, why are you becoming angry, sir? In case it is broken, please bring it to me. I'll repair it. Why are you becoming angry?" What nonsense. Let me go to the principal and complain that this is a condition of the teacher. The teacher is saying, "We will repair the bow of Lord Shiva, whosoever has broken it." Nonsense. He went to the director of the school. He said, "Principal, sir, director, sir, I asked the students, who broke the bow of Lord Shiva?" One says, "I did not break." And I says, "Well, sir, I also did not." And they says, "Well, I was on leave from past 1 week." And the teacher, teacher, what did he say? He said, "Sir, I'll repair it." Why are you becoming angry? They cannot even tell me who broke the bow of Lord Shiva. And then the principal said, "Sir, why are you becoming angry, sir? We will set up one committee and they will investigate who has actually broken the bow of Lord Shiva. Please, sir, come down." And invigilator, he left that place. Nobody knows how this school cannot be based on Ramayana at all. Well, anyways, coming back to the story. So when Parshuramji came and Parshuram said, "Who broke the bow of Lord Shiva?" And then Ram came with all humility. He said, "Well, I'm the one." He said, "You? How dare you do that? How dare you?" He said, "Yeah, certainly it might be an offense. But yes, I bow down to you because you are Parshuram. I'm only Ram. You are more than me. You are Parshuram." But seeing this melodrama, Lakshman became very angry that how dare you speak like this to my brother? What to speak of insignificant bow of Lord Shiva? My brother can even crush Mount Meru within his arms, crushing it powder. And then Ram to Lakshman, one should not speak like this to Parshuram. He's a sage. He's a very powerful sage. He said, "Please, let me know if I can atone for this." He said, "What atonement? It is unbelievable that a tender-looking boy like you can break the bow of Shiva." He said, "Yeah." Lakshman said, "Well, it was such an insignificant task." He said, "Insignificant? Okay, here is a bow of Vishnu, and only Vishnu can lift it. Can you lift this bow and shoot an arrow? Take this bow." And then Lord Ram, effortlessly, he took that bow and get an arrow ready on it, ready to shoot. And seeing this, Parshuram was dumbstruck, was blank. How can this innocent, simple-looking, tender-looking, delicate body, this boy, can lift the bow of Vishnu? And not just that, he can also place an arrow onto it. He says, "So Parshuram, the arrow is ready. Where should I release it?" Parshuram said, "Please kindly release this arrow on my ignorance, which could not recognize that here is a Lord. So please kindly release this arrow on my ignorance." And then Lord Ram shot an arrow, and that arrow very respectfully took Parshuramji to Mandar Parvat and placed him there. Okay. Mahendra Parvat, I think, yeah. He was placed there. That's it. And then Parshuram asked, so the current in this pond is Parshuramji. And then judicious replies are the skilled boatman. In case somebody is there in the Sarovar of the glories of Lord Ram, in case if I get stuck somewhere, if I want to come out of that perplexity, confusion, then there are boats. The boats are the judicious replies, answering all the controversies about Lord Ram. Okay, so they are the boats. They sail through all these different difficult sections by question answer format, hence clarifying the entire subject matter. And that's the glory of Lord Ram. Just like when there is a pond, so there is some algae as well. Algae. So what is algae? The character of Kaikai is the Kai. Kai is the Kai of this pond. Of course, Kaikai Mother is actually glorious, even though we may take Kaikai's name in a negative way, that she was a vamp in the whole story. But actually, Kaikai, her love for Lord Ram was even more than Kaushalya. But because she could see that since Sita and Ram are there, they are in the palace, and they cannot have good time with each other because they are surrounded by so many people and this royalties of this palatial formalities and all that. Let me do something by which Sita and Ram, they get time for each other. Even for that matter, I may get my name spoiled, but I'm ready to do that because Sita and Ram will have time for each other. And then that's why she did this. Well, I want Bharat to be enthroned. I want Ram to be exiled. She did all of this. And she knew that in future, people would not take her name with good attitude, or say with good feelings, not in a positive sense. But I'm ready to spoil my name. But Sita and Ram should be happy. That was her intention, actually. So that's Kaikai, actually. That's Kaikai. But externally speaking, she was the algae on this pond. Externally speaking, yeah, she was like that. And we see that all the seasons are there in this pond of Lord Ram's glories. Like Hemant Ritu is the marriage pastime. Shishir Ritu is the advent of Lord Ram. Vasant Ritu is the wedding pastimes. Grishma Ritu is the departure pastimes. Varsha Ritu is the demons being killed. Sharad Ritu is Lord's departure. So all the seasons are there in Ram's pastimes. So these are the glories of Lord Ram. I'll stop here now. Hare Krishna. Jai Siya Ramachandra ki Jai. So if anybody has any question, we'll take a few questions and then we'll stop.
Thank you so much, Amogh Lila Prabhu, for wonderful glories of the Lord Ramchandra. Devotees, if you have any questions, please go ahead.
Okay, no questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hari Bol.
Anybody has any question 1? Anybody has any question 2? Anybody has any question 3?
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yeah. Prabhuji, you nicely glorified Mother Kaikai. How would you glorify the mantra?
Mantra. Well, in Ram Lila, there is mantra and there is Sumantra. So mantra was actually envious of Lord Ram, of mud on each other, and everyone was happy. Kaikai was happy, Kaushalya was happy, Sumatra was happy, all the 4 brothers were happy, Dashrath Maharaj was happy. So Ram threw one ball made of mud on mantra, and she became very angry. Very angry. So Ramayana mentions that one should not listen to mantra, one should listen to Sumantra. Sumantra was minister of Dashrath, who was always giving good advice. Mantra gave bad advice to Kaikai, and Sumantra was giving good advice. So Ramayana teaches us not to listen to mantra, we should listen to Sumantra. Those who are our well-wishers, we should listen to them. Like that. Of course, in case there are any more glories of mantra, like some of the section it is mentioned that she was being sent by the demigods so that she can act like a catalyst to speedify the pastimes of Lord Ram. She was sent by the demigods. So that's why she was a hunchback woman and she was doing this negative role. So some of the authors, they also mentioned that mantra did this deliberately so as to accelerate the whole thing. So she was like a catalyst. So that can be glory of mantra. Okay, all right. Any other
Thank
question?
you, Prabhuji. Yes? Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Jagadish Shiva Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, then from all gurus of Maharaj and Prabhupada and you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Prabhu, I have a question. You mentioned that the grasta like a mountain to reach.
Yeah.
So like being a grasta, what the good approach to tell others also, hey, this is easy to cross, though they have so many obstacles. You know, they feel this issue, that issue, I cannot do that. My wife not listening, my relative not listening. So any easy way to tell the grasta, hey, leave everything, cross this mountain and come into the Sarovar.
Well, certainly this mountain cannot be crumbled down to ground, but at least the height of the mountain can be minimized by living a simple life in household life. In Grihastha life, when we live a very simple life. Like, have you heard the name of Hari Parshad Prabhu? Who has heard the name of Hari Parshad Prabhu? Maybe all of you. He's such a learned scholar, Hari Parshad Prabhu. Now, he's a very learned, very educated person. He can have very elite job in corporate sector. But because he's attached to reading the Shastras, that's why he has taken up a simple job of a teacher in a college so that he can devote more time for Krishna consciousness. So similarly, in our Grihastha life, we should choose simpler formats of lifestyle. If we choose simpler formats of lifestyle, then we can have more time for spirituality. In case we are materialistically ambitious to prove to this world that I am also someone, then certainly you will not have time for spirituality. In Grihastha life, one should earn that much by which I can fill my belly, sadhu come home, I can feed him, and some money for future saving, for some emergency, and that's it. Living a simple life is very important. I know one devotee who is in years, he gets promoted, he may get more money, but then he should spend more time in office. He said, no, do not promote me. Let the juniors get promoted. I'll not take promotion because I'm earning whatever is required for filling my belly. This much salary is sufficient. But I do not want to make my life very complicated. So if we cannot completely make the mountain grounded, but at least what we can do, we can make the height of the mountain come down by living a simpler form of life. We have to do that which is basically required, say for education of children, basic necessities and all that. So choosing a simpler format of life in household life, that's most important. So in that ways, we can minimize the height of the mountain. Hence, the hard work would be lessened to great extent. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu. Because this is the very hardest, especially consider IT now.
Yeah.
The devotee, even all are working 15 hours, 16 hours, 17 hours just to save a job. So how to go for that the way? Okay, look something
Like
alternative.
when I was working, I used to use my traveling for my reading and hearing. So traveling can be used that ways. In case you are traveling, so 1 hour count going and coming. So well, I can listen something. Yeah. In case you do your time, everything on time, you can have maybe say 15 minutes of reading, half an hour of reading on your desktop, in case it is possible. In some of the jobs, it is not possible. So it depends case to case. Like say year end is there, then of course there's a lot of work. But there are a few times in some months in the year when there's not so much of work. Little bit is there. On the weekends, there can be more work. Maybe on weekdays there is more work. But we are to play around with the whole thing so that we have time for our spiritual life. There's one friend of mine. His wife is not a devotee, and she is very powerful lady, very strong-headed lady. And she has told him that you will not do anything related to bhakti at home. Okay. So what he does that he gets up early in the morning, he chants his rounds, 12 rounds. He has told his wife that my office starts at 8 a.m. But actually his office starts at 9 a.m. So he leaves little early from his 1 hour earlier. And then after leaving for his office 1 hour early, and then he goes to the parking area. So he has got here 1 hour. In this 1 hour, half an hour he chants the rest of his rounds, and half an hour he reads Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And then 9 o'clock he goes from the lift to his office and then logs in. In this way, wife is also happy. My husband goes on time, comes on time. But actually he's leaving 1 hour early. And sometimes he comes 1 or 2 hours late. But actually he's not late in the office. He goes to some library and reads and reaches home by 8 o'clock. And wife is also okay. Yeah, my husband is working so hard. So we are to do these kind of games sometimes, that's required. Like those ladies where husbands are not devotees. So when the husband has gone to office, now full on bhakti they can do. So we are to tweak around. We are to customize our life in a way that we take maximum advantage of our time in Krishna consciousness, of our Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing that.
It's a challenge, but it's an art.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
Okay. Just like one general the inquiry or requisite, how the Guru Maharaj is doing?
Maharaj is always rocking. Of course, Maharaj is currently staying in ISKCON Kailash. He is not traveling because of COVID. Not traveling, but he has online classes wherever required. And then, but yes, he is missing his morning walk, his morning exercises. But yes, he's good. Day before yesterday, I met him, so he was having sound health.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. We happy hearing Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.
Wonderful answers, Prabhu. Devakirandan Prabhu and Bhakti Ratnakar, 2 more devotees. I think with that we will stop the questions. It is already 9:06.
All right.
Bhakti Ratnakar. Yeah, two more. Bhakti Ratnakar Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat from all glories to assembled Vaishnavas and yourself, Prabhuji. Thanks for this very elite and unique presentation of the Ram's glories of glories. Where is Hanumanji in this, Prabhuji? I am trying
Hanumanji is the protector. Hanumanji is the protector. As I told you that Lord Ram, this Sarovar or the glories of Lord Ram is protected by the reciters, the preachers. Hanumanji is a preacher. In fact, anybody who is preaching about Lord Ram, Hanumanji is personally present there to bless the speaker. Like currently in my room, there is Hanumanji to bless me. So that Amogh Lila Das speaks rightly about Lord Ram. So anyway, there are glories of Lord Ram or the glories of Lord Ram. Hanumanji is personally present to bless that person. So where is Hanuman? He is the protector of the Sarovar, of the glories of Lord Ram. And currently he is in my room. Jai Bajrang Bali ki jai. बोलो हनुमान की जय, बोलो बजरंग बली की जय, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावा, जय राम की जय, हनुमान जी की जय. So currently Hanumanji is in my room. Okay, he cannot be seen in Zoom, but I can see him. He is there in my room to bless me. So I glorify Lord Ram rightly.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Because the Tulsidas Hanuman Chalisa start Gurudev Sri Guru Charan Saroj Raj. That's the reason.
Yeah. Yes. So he's a protector of the glories of Lord Ram. When Lord Ram went to Saket Dham, finishing his pastimes, he left Hanumanji here so that the glories of Lord Ram can still perpetuate and then people can be benefited. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't catch that point, Prabhuji. So I know Hanumanji stays on the earth until he hears Ram,
yes.
word Ram, right?
Yes.
But why did he leave Hanumanji here, Prabhuji? Or Hanumanji wanted to stay here? I didn't get that.
Hanumanji is present in Saket Dham and he's in universes also, just to bless the speakers of the glories of Lord Ram. So he's doing this wonderful seva. But he's there in Saket Dham as well. Not that he was left here and now he would never go to Saket Dham. He would be only here. No, he's parallelly present in Saket Dham as well, in his original form.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat.
And Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Devaki Nandan Das, we appreciate you coming online and sharing this wonderful Ram Katha.
Devaki Nandan who from Brownsville, right?
I'm in Edison.
Okay, you are in Edison. I met one Devaki Nandan Prabhu.
Yes,
I stayed at his place as well.
This is same Devaki Nandan. That's why I was remembering you that you came almost 18 years ago.
Yes. Oh my God! It's such a surprise, Prabhuji. When I was in New Jersey, so I was searching for Association of Devotees. Prabhuji was the one who gave me the shelter. He also gave me the CDs of Radhanath Maharaj's South Indian tour, and that they were great support to me. Prabhuji, pranams to you. So happy to see you.
I'm still waiting for those CDs to come back.
Oh no! Somehow I could not manage to give them back to you, but
that was such a sweet experience, and I've been listening to you and following you, and you also became Parshad and Hanumanji's following on Hanumanji's footsteps and preaching to so many thousands of souls. I feel so proud that I was able to have prasad with you and serve you that
Actually,
time.
I was blessed when I came to your home and you fed me, you blessed me, and that's the result. And whatever I'm able to
Krishna.
do. So it is your blessing, Prabhuji. I know Prabhuji is very loving, very affectionate. Anybody who comes, Prabhuji says, "Hey Sadhu, Mahatma." This is how Prabhuji welcomes everyone. So Prabhuji, seeing you is very nostalgic. I'm feeling so revived. Old memories coming to surface back again.
I've been waiting to come to Noida sometime and have your darshan again. Thank you so much for going all over
Thank you, Prabhuji, for
India
blessing.
and world and preaching. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. You have been very kind.
My life is successful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavad.
Pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavad.
Satyabhama.
Okay, Satyabhama Mataji. I think, yeah, she has raised her hand.
Last question. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for wonderful class. We are really fan of you. When we joined ISKCON, my Prabhuji was not he was not that much connected to ISKCON lectures. But when I heard your lecture and I started, we started listening. And so you are so dynamic and your voice that really affect so much in our life. So thank you so much. I just wanted to express my gratitude. Earlier he was not that much, but listening to such a young people in our ISKCON movement because of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, I was just telling my Prabhuji, see, they are so educated people and dedicating their life to this ISKCON movement. And so that really helps us, Prabhuji, in our world, the age, how it is going. And now my Prabhuji is initiated because of such a wonderful lectures, and our congregation also, they help me so much in making my Prabhuji uplift. So at least he is in the service. So just wanted to express my gratitude to all Vaishnavas. We are really fortunate having such a wonderful moment. And thank you so much, Prabhuji. And I like that example of laziness, like how one can be lazy. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your words, for your appreciation. Thank you so much.
Hare
Krishna. All right, I think we are done for the day. Happy Ram conscious Ram Navami to all of you. May Sita and Ram bless all of you. And thank you very much for giving me a chance to serve all of you wonderful devotees there. And Hare Krishna. Jaya Siyavara Ramachandra ki jai. Raja Ram Pariswaman Sita Ram.
Madhupati Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Madhupati Prabhu.
Hare. The wonderful class, wonderful.
Thank you.
Analogy which you use about this pond of the glories of Lord Ramachandra. Unique way of preaching Ram Katha. I probably heard normally devotees dive directly into Ram Katha, but nicely, allegorically explained very nicely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Seek your blessings always.
We invite you personally, Prabhu. Please come whenever you are coming to US, to ISKCON of Central New Jersey. It will be our great fortune.
I'll be blessed if of course, once this COVID wave goes down, I'll be blessed to come there.
Please give more.
USA, I know all of you wonderful souls.
Also, or virtually, whenever you are available. Prabhu will coordinate.
Sure, Prabhu. I'll be honored.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. Hare Krishna. Dana pranams to all of you. Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving me a chance to glorify Lord Ram and serve all of you. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada ki glories of Lord Ram ki jai. Asuri bhakton ki jai.
Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.